All right, you guys, hello. Once a month, we'll do these team calls, and we'll do it the second Wednesday of every month. So welcome. Today's August 12th, and I am really excited to help you guys with some mindset things. So like I said, we're going to be learning, we're going to talk about motivation, we're going to talk about mindset, and how to put yourself in an instant mood change. And these two things are really game changers. And whenever I use them versus step aside, and be like, I need to remember that, it just elevates myself, right? Because we are just never feeling in control all the time, right? Especially right now. So that's what we're going to get to. But I know as a few people jump on here, I just want to see how are you guys doing? So Jenny, hello. I know Michelle's going to join us in just a second. She just texted me. But how are you? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not doing as well as I had hoped. When I started, I really fell off the wagon there, so I need to get back on it. But
yeah, and that's I think that's it, right? Is just picking yourself back up. There's so many times where we just haven't. So getting to that point where we know things are going to get hard, we might step back a little bit, but being able to take this time to be able to continue to move forward or to step back, that right there, people don't accept that as much of a win as it really is. Because that's a huge shift, right? To not just go back and to come back here. So, and that's why I'm so thankful for the support network, right? Because being here will really help us to be able to do that more, right? If we're just kind of in our own world with our own thoughts, no one else knows about it. We don't check in with anything else other than here. We'll walk away from it and it probably never will go back. So I'm really glad that you're here. How's life? You're getting ready for school, things like that. It's hard right now, one, not only just getting kids ready for school, but right now it's lots of decisions, right? Do you distance learn? Right. Do you go to school? So how, if I just want to make sure that we have an opportunity, especially as we get together, we can talk about that. Because I know, especially last week and then over the next 2 days, I'll feel it too, because, we made some decisions, but not fully for our secondary school kids. It was rough to just make a decision, what to do, because there's pros and cons to both. And, it's, just give and take, and that can be really challenging. So you've got your son, he's in elementary school.
Yes, he'll be he's in fourth grade this year.
Yep.
So they started out, they were going to go to school and then wear their masks, if they were all enclosed. But then the governor decided that all kids, regardless, age 2 and up, all kids had to be in masks at all times. So then our school, they just decided to just wait. So they pushed their start date back, and they're going to do distance learning at least for the first few weeks. And hopefully some of those rules will be relaxed a little bit. So, so then that kind of just put a real big stress on everything.
Yeah, coordinating work and kids and all of that too. Yeah, for sure. So I feel you. My heart is with you for sure. And it's hard too, we want the best for them. So we've decided to keep our elementary school kids home for the first quarter and just do distance learning. And which, is great to be able to kind of see what's going to happen and adjust and make our plans accordingly as we head into the end of the year. But it's also hard too, right? Because I work and I love that time and thrive in that time to work, but being a parent and a teacher and, people in and out, it's hard to balance all of that, and to set boundaries and to try to feel like you're fulfilling well all of those roles. So I think we just have to remember day to day, we do the best we can. There's things we can control every single day. and to give ourselves grace when we need grace, or we need a week, or whatever, it is that we need. So I think you'll really enjoy this topic tonight, and just what you can take from that too, because I think that that's great. So, and I'll tell you, you're a good mom. You're great. So, and you got your daughter's going to get married. Yay!
Oh my gosh. Yes. So that's happened. They're not going to get married for probably another couple. She said probably September 2022.
Oh, wow.
So she's in her last year of college. So her year is all messed up now too. But it's exciting. It's fun.
That's great. That'll be something fun to work with her and plan and just, really enjoy it. So that's great. Like, it's probably, some things are hard when it's that far off, but that's probably nice, because hopefully we'll be through all of this and you won't have to worry about how to make that work.
Exactly. So, hopefully we had better be finished with all of this by then.
We better, right? We had better. Even like early next year, I hope that we're in much better shape to have solutions in place.
Yes.
I believe in us. I believe. Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations. So it's really good. I was posting in my story today, and I'm like, you feel so good that you can find the gratitude, even despite the circumstances or within the circumstances that aren't perfect or ideal, that there's still things that we can just have and hold on to. And I think that that's really good. So life here is crazy. We had the school thing. My husband went in for surgery Monday, which is so hard when people are in the hospital, because you can't be there anymore. So to drop him off at the door and say goodbye, so it was hard. And something that he's been really anxious about, but everything went really well. And I'm super happy today. We brought him home. So
good.
Together and be home. So we're really glad for that. We celebrated our 20th anniversary yesterday. Well, we celebrated, but we had one.
Yes, happy anniversary.
So it's just, and just thinking through all of those things and like how grateful we are things went well, and that, we've had 20 years, and just how our family is and just what that is. Like, it's so wonderful to just be able to remember there's always greatness, right? And really good things. So I really love it. But good. Yes. Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're just talking about life and how we are, just taking a couple minutes with that. So Michelle is a teacher, so she's going to be going back to school too. So how are you feeling?
Very apprehensive. Yeah, I actually start back tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know how this is all going to go down.
Yeah. I think we're one day at a time. And I know for sure I'm praying for teachers and administrators and all of those people who, are going to be dealing and handling so many kids and people in different situations too. So,
yeah. But my boys are actually excited to go back to daycare, and I'm like, I'm just so sad. I have to go back to work. And
yeah. Will you be at school full time, or is there some days that you're home? Like, how are they?
I'll be full time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because you deal with more elementary, right? More than secondary.
So I'm a speech therapist in the preschool.
Okay, preschool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be good. We agonized over the decisions, and I said, I just really feel like either decision is going to be fine, but we just have to always be careful and watchful and mindful, no matter what we're doing, important. So, you're going to make it. This is going to be a year. This is already an epic year.
Oh, yeah.
So awesome. All right, good. Well, we're going to talk about two things tonight. So as I said, we're going to talk about motivation, and then we're going to talk about just how to change your mood anytime that you need it. So I was re-listening in my endless Ironman bike rides. I re-listened to Rachel Hollis's book, Girl, Stop Apologizing. which I love. It's all about really how to tackle and go after the things in your life. And, at the end of that audiobook was part of her Rise conference. So she does a conference every year. And it just reminded me of a couple of these things. Kennedy. And I just wanted to share them because I'm like, it's really, I'm like, I think I started as a health coach, but really I just want to be your mindset coach, right? Because if we can get these thoughts the right direction, everything else we can do. It's already inside of us, right? It's just about changing that narrative and changing that. So this is one thing she reminded me of was I just actually sent a video similar to this to Michelle, and Michelle, we're actually going to watch a little clip because this is my favorite video. But Mel Robbins, so she's a well-known author and speaker. She wrote a book called The 5-Second Rule, and this was something that she developed in a time in her life where things kind of fell apart for her. She lost her job. She just kind of lost that purpose within that, and it was really like life was really tough just to even for her, like getting up in the morning. Right. And with motivation, like we often look at motivation, like I'm going to have all of this energy to do all the things that I want to do. And if I don't have that, I'm not motivated. Right. But that's not really what motivation is. Motivation is doing the things that we don't want to do, that we need to do, even though we don't want to do them. Right. Like that's what motivation is. So how do we do that? Because the one thing that Mel Robbins teaches is she says, you're never going to want to do the things ever. Right.
Right.
Oh, is he going to go out and play? Okay. That sounds good. So we're never going to feel like doing something. Right. So we have to remember that. So I'm just going to let you listen to a few minutes of this video clip. And just, I want you to kind of take it in, maybe take some notes, write down a couple of things that stick out to you. We're not going to watch the whole video. We're going to watch about 7 minutes of it. And then we'll talk just briefly about it. And then we'll talk a little bit about mood. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can share this. You can all see this now.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember feeling this massive sense of despair. And my entire life, and this is probably the long-winded answer to the first question that you gave me, changed with one 5-second decision. And now what my job is I teach people around the world the power and the science behind making 5-second decisions. And if you are paying attention, you will start to notice that there's a 5-second window for all of us. There's a 5-second window between the moment that your inner wisdom, your instincts, your second brain, your gut, whatever you want to call it, all of that unique power that's in you, that comes from your DNA, that comes from your life experiences, that comes from everything that you've learned in your life, situational intelligence, all of that, when it speaks to you and tells you to move, to speak, to take some form of action, you only got 5 seconds to move before your mind will talk you out of it.
Right, and you call it the emergency brake, right?
Yes, so what we do is we tend to pull the emergency brake because your mind is designed to do 3 things. Your mind by design does just 3 things. It basically regulates your body to keep you alive. It also, when you're sleeping, half of your mind shuts down and the other half catalogs everything that happened to you today so you can have memories. And the third thing that your mind does is it protects your ass. And the main way that it does that is it does that by magnifying risk. Magnifies any situation or any conversation. And so, what happened for me is I realized as my life was circling the drain and we're facing bankruptcy and Chris is on the couch, this was not the situation that I wanted. I didn't want my life to end in divorce. I didn't want to be in financial ruin. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be anxious. And here's the truly screwed up thing. I knew what to do to fix it. See, this is the trap that most of us are in. Most of us know what we could do to change things for the better. And we spend our time and our energy talking ourselves out of doing those things. And the other thing that I convince people of, because this is so true, it's the littlest stuff. The little things make all the difference. And I could spend hours with you explaining the science of confidence and explaining the science of risk and explaining the science behind courage and explaining habit loops and how they get encoded in your brain. You don't need to know any of that because you're not applying for a PhD in psychology. I have done the work. And what I know is that true change comes down to 5-second windows. That moment that you know you need to do something that feels slightly uncomfortable, and your resignation, your excuses, your self-doubt start cranking up in your head, you got to move. You have to move. And so what happened for me is I invented a hack, a brain hack. It's the stupidest thing in the world. And it turns out that it's actually tremendously profound and powerful at a neurological level and at a scientific and a psychological level. When I invented it, I had no clue what I had invented. And it took me about 3 years from the moment that I invented it to actually realize that, holy shit, I think I've discovered the secret to changing anything.
And what was it?
So I called it the 5-second rule because I never intended to talk about it. It was a cheat to beat the alarm clock. Here's how it goes. The alarm rings in the morning. Most of us don't want to get out of bed, right? But we know we should. So I would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The moment the alarm rang, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like NASA, what they do, they count down to launch a rocket ship. And the counting backwards kind of shut my mind off. And then suddenly at 1, I would stand up. And I would use this every single morning to get out of bed. And 9 years later, I still use it every single morning to get out of bed. I think some behavior you can learn and automate. Other stuff that you don't like doing, you're going to always have to push yourself. That's just how it is. And I noticed 2 things as I started to use it. I noticed that window where I'd be lying in bed and I'd have the knowledge that I should get up, but in my body, I wouldn't feel it. And as I lied in bed, and you can try this tomorrow morning, set your alarm earlier than you normally do, and watch what happens. The alarm will go off and your mind knows that you said you would get up. Your mind has that wisdom. Your gut has that wisdom. It's holding on to it. And then it starts to kind of nudge you with a little guilt. And then what'll happen is all of a sudden you'll start talking yourself out of doing the thing you said you would do.
Yeah, it's too cold, or I'm too tired, or
And it happens in less than 5 seconds. And so what I know is that those are 2 different parts of your brain going at once. And if you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you interrupt the habit of self-doubt and the habit of talking yourself out of it and shutting down the part of the brain that actually minimizes your power. And you awaken the part of the brain that is active in functional MRIs when you're trying to change. And so all you need to know to change anything is A, you're never going to feel like it. You're never going to feel ready to start that business. You're never going to feel ready to have that hard conversation. You're never going to feel like getting out of bed. You're never going to feel like it's a good idea to apply for that promotion. We're designed to stay comfortable and safe. So if you know that you're A, never going to feel like it, and B, that no one's coming, it's up to you. You're not a kid anymore. I'm dead serious about this. Like so many of you are waiting to be picked. By who? Are you making the most of your life? And the answer is yes, if you pay attention to what you do in 5-second windows. Are you the kind of person that when your instincts come alive and they want to nudge you to go talk to that cute gal across the way or raise your hand in a meeting and share that idea? Are you the kind of person that pushes yourself to step into that? Or do you pull back? That's the power of a 5-second decision, because you can't choose how you feel. You can't. Yeah, maybe you can go and become a Buddhist monk and meditate for 4 months and get full control of your physiology. And yeah, technically you can control how you feel, but you and I can't. You got a job, you got kids you got to raise. You can't, that's not possible. So you can do something else. You can actually disregard your feelings. You can become the kind of person that is so in tune with the values that you have and what you actually want, that when feelings rise up, you can choose to act however you want despite them. Even if you're tired, you can still go to the gym. Even if you're annoyed with your spouse, you can still speak in a manner that's loving. Even if you don't feel like doing that hard work, you can still push yourself to do it. Your feelings aren't a choice. Your behavior and your thoughts are always a choice.
yeah. So is this probably in the category of emotion?
All right. Woo! So many good things there. I love it. So
Really.
what do you think? Jenny, what did you take from that? Any takeaways?
I hate these questions. I just thought it was interesting.
One.
Yes, exactly. I thought that was kind of interesting how she thought of that, and as far as, it all happens in that 5-second window. And if you wait too long, then that's just done.
Yeah. You
lost the moment.
See that happening, right? Like even just thinking about situations, how quickly you can talk yourself out of it, right? So fast.
Yes.
We let those feelings then take control, right? And when she first said that, my mind automatically goes to, I don't want to be a heartless, non-feeling person, right? But that's not what she's talking about, right? What she's talking about is, what do we allow to control our decisions? Is it our feelings, or is it our values, our goals, our why, our purpose? Which are we allowing to be a bigger driver for us, which is huge, right? To learn to change that, because it's, that is something that just naturally, right, for us to allow those feelings to guide us. So huge. That's huge. And thinking about how quickly we do that. What about you, Michelle? What are some takeaways you took away from that?
Well, like one of them was, it's like, you're an adult now. You don't have to answer to anyone else except yourself. And I have a hard time with that, because like I put my husband and my boys in front of what I need. And like, after I actually watched that, I've been doing that a little bit more, like, hey, I need to do this. And I'm like, you guys just have to wait. And so going back to work, I'm going to have a little bit more of a schedule, but like just during the day, I'm like, you know what, I need to work out. And I'm like, hey boys, I'm working out. If you want to work out with me, you can do it, or you can sit here and watch me, or you can go play or whatever. And so it's just like, with that, it's like I've had to be making that decision to put myself in front of what they need.
Yeah. And how does that feel, like trying that on? Like, how are you feeling with that?
I actually feel more empowered, because that's actually one of the other things I've been having a struggle with is, taking that ownership. Because like the last time you and I talked, it was just like, who's the one that makes dinner, or who does this? And it's just like, well, I do it. I make the, I make the meal plans. I'm the one that cooks. So it's just like, and my husband will eat whatever. So it's just like, I've had to really take that ownership. And, those 5 seconds do mean a lot. I mean, it's just those between saying, okay, well, I'll just do what you want to do, or, hey, I need to do what I need to do for myself within those 5 seconds.
Awesome. Right. And like, I love that word empowered, that you use that, because honestly, when we say, well, I can't do this for me because I have to look out for my family, it's just an excuse that we're telling ourselves, right? Because as you take better care of yourself, like even that one thing, doing your exercise and saying, Mom's going to work out, what do they see from that? Exercise is important. What do they see when you're done? How do you feel when you're done with exercise, right? You're tired. You feel good, right? You're happy. You feel great. You did something. Like, so they're going to say, they're learning exercise helps me feel better, right? Mom's happy when she gets this time to exercise, right? They're learning so many great things. So we're teaching them more, better, right? For us standing up for ourselves and saying, okay, I want to put your needs first, but I need you to help me put my needs first too, so that we can all, we're a family, right? And we're working together. And it is so empowering to know that, but to feel that. And we have to do it, right? And take action. So I love that she said, you're never going to feel like it. And we just operate from that premises, right? We're never going to feel like doing the hard things. It's never comfortable. It might never get comfortable, and some things we can make a routine and make it real, but other things we have to push ourselves every single time to do the thing. So you're never going to feel like it. And B, no one's coming. It's up to you. If you decide not to eat more vegetables at dinner, your family's not going to say, stop, Michelle, you need vegetables. Right? They're not Jenny, you're not going to bed tonight. You only drank 40 ounces of water. Get in that kitchen.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So we have to do that for ourselves and realize that that's important and that we can do it. So you guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In fact, I'm going to post tomorrow in our group and on Facebook to read this book together because, you know, and I remember the first time I actually listened to it. I was doing some more training, of course. That's where I do a lot of audios. But I was like, I don't like her. Bossy, like she's like in my face. I'm like, I don't like her, but I do like her, you know, because she like says what I need to hear and how I need to say it, you know, what I need to hear to be able to move forward. And so I want you guys to apply this. And I was even just thinking, like, as I was watching this again today, like, because I'm tired. I've been single momming, but I've also, you know, felt bad last week because we didn't really do a lot of things. We didn't make a lot of purposeful things in our life, right? As we were getting ready for this surgery and just the school thing and all of that. Like, I just felt like, you know, when I wrote in my journal, what are you looking forward to today? Like every day I had nothing. I had nothing to write. And I'm like, that's because I didn't plan, right? So this week I planned all these things. We had all these things and it's been great, but that's tiring, right? So I even just remember going to the kitchen, getting lunch so we could, because we were going to go to the lake today for a little bit, and thinking, oh, I'm just going to have peanut butter and jelly too. And I'm like, I know that's not the best thing for me, but I'm going to just have peanut butter and jelly too, you know? And I ended up making a salad, but I thought to myself, if I had Mel in my ear, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it would have been so much easier to say, nope, you know what's going to help you feel best and what's going to help you meet your goals. And you're going to, when you look in that mirror, you're going to say, you look good because of the decisions you made today, right? Like, that's what this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 can be. So I want you to just take like 30 seconds and right now, like, where can you apply 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tomorrow? Where do you know, like, you already need it for tomorrow? I want you to write down 1 or 2 things just really quick. And then, you know, as you think about this more, add to that list, but just consciously know, like, where do I need 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Is it getting out of bed without pushing snooze? Is it getting, you know, starting that workout? Is it getting up from your desk to get the water, right? What is that? And I think as you think about using this rule, like when you think about something you don't want to do, ask yourself the question, is this blank going to serve my goals and my purpose? And if it is, you always have to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Always. And just make that decision to do that from now on. So if it's going to serve your goals, it's going to serve your purpose of you becoming the person that you want to be, that you're striving to hitting the goals that you're striving to do. If you say yes to that, I better hear that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? Say it out loud. Clap if you want. Get some music, whatever it is that you need to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Zoom out of there. I really want you guys to do it because we can give ourselves permission to do that, and it was going to feel so good when we honor that for ourselves. Okay. All right. So let's talk really quick about mood. So again, going back to feelings, how often do we let our feelings dictate where we're going or what decisions we make throughout the day, right? And again, a lot of that is an excuse, right? To use those feelings and that mood to do or not do something, or say we could or couldn't do something. So right now we have to take ownership that we are always 100% in control of our mood, right? So no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what your kids are doing, right? Like, we are 100% in charge of our mood. So this was something that Rachel talked about that I was listening to on Saturday. And she said, how would the best version of me handle this situation? Right? Like, always asking yourself that thing. So, and here's the trick that she taught to always be able to change your mood. And I love this. And I actually, I wish I would have asked my son, because I taught him this, but he came up with something else a different phrase, and I loved it. I'll have to ask him, and I'll make sure that I'll follow up with you guys on this. But you just need to like, she taught just like clap, right? Because sometimes we need something physical to kind of just knock ourselves out of it, right? But she's like, so she said, when you have this situation where you don't feel like you are in the mood that you need to be to handle whatever situation you're in as your best self, same you, new mood, right? We don't have to change who we are. We're not bad people. Like, we all have those feelings and things like that, but we can make that decision to say, we're in a new mood. So same you, new mood, right? We are in control of us. And I'm going to ask Ben, because I was like, I love that. I was teaching him that, and he said something else, because he has a hard time with this. Like, my son, like, a lot of times, if everything's going great, he's so happy. But if something's not going his way or something happens, it's like this little thunder cloud comes out, right? It's like he's a ray of sunshine until this one moment, and then it's like thunder. And, I was telling him, I'm like, gosh, he would let it affect like the rest of his day, right? Whatever. And it was just always just a little thing, right? The same thing that we do, right? If last night we had cousins over to spend the night, and they were like thumping on the walls at night, and I was like, I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And so I went up there, and I wish I would have done this. New you, same you, new mood, because I did not. I was like mad. And, but it's good to have this so we can like, just, even if we do like handle it poorly, like not as the best version of ourselves, for me to have gone, okay, new, and been able to go to bed and just like let it go and get up in the morning, right? And do it again. So, try this technique too, right? Whenever you find yourself needing to get in a different vibe, right? To up your vibe a little bit. Same you, new mood, right? Remember that you are always in control of you. We're controlling the controllables. That's all that this healthier life and this better life and this happier life is all about, is just controlling what we can control. And when it's something that we can't, deep breath, let it be, right? And move on. So, but I'd love for you guys to share, like, as this happens for you, or if you have a moment and you're like, that totally worked in like just one split second, because it really does. We just have to dig into that consciousness a little bit and just snap ourselves out of it. Same you, new mood, right? And it can just happen that fast by just having that little reminder. So, so I hope you guys like live these little life hacks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 yourself into being motivated for the things that you need. Be 100% in control of you and your mood and what you need to be the best version of you and to show up in the ways for yourself and for those that you care about as your best self. So I'm so excited. So, because like I said, you guys, this journey, it is about working out. It is about eating well. But it's first about really creating the mindset that we need to be successful. And like Michelle said, right? Like some of those stories that we've had are ways that we, have just operated all of our life. We're adults now. Like, it might not serve us in the same way. And it's okay for us to give ourselves permission to change those stories, right? To give us those operating manuals that we need now for where we are. And for that to change in the future if it needs to change again, right? So give yourself permission to do that and grow through this. So Jenny, I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Like, I am. And I'm so glad that you're choosing to up your game, right? To keep coming back, because right there, like, that's already a win, a huge win. And I'm so proud of you for being here and doing that for you. So Michelle, same, like, I love it. I love hearing from you guys. You guys, it's so important in that group. One, because like Jenny and I were talking about, like, we just need that accountability outside of ourselves, right? To make sure we're doing the things or at least pushing ourselves to get back on that track if we're not on there. But it helps me so much too, right? Like, it's hard to understand and know what somebody's facing or what they're going through or what's going well or what's not going well when we're all like thousands of miles apart, you know, and living different lives. So being in that group and you guys filling out those weekly check-ins, like it just gives me that connection to you that I can be a better coach for you, right? And use that. It's such a gift to have that, to have this community and to have people in your corner. And I promise you, like, I will never make you feel ashamed. I never will. I've probably done what you've done or what you're trying to overcome 50 times, you know, on this journey. So just know, like, it's so great to share the wins and the struggles because somebody is behind you and needs to hear that. And somebody's probably a step or two ahead of you and can really help you on that path. So, and that community and those bod groups is where we really can get that. If we open up and really and share that, and you'll find such a beautiful success in that too. So, right, you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for taking the time to join in. Michelle, good luck in school tomorrow.
Thanks.
So we're cheering for you.
When does your husband get to come home?
He came home today.
Yay!
Yes, we're so happy. I was just telling Ginny that earlier. So it was so good to just see them wheeling him out. It's so weird to not be able to like go support people in that way, but I hope he was able to get some rest and, you know, mentally as well as physically, just not having to worry about people in and out and stuff like that too. So that's what we're going to take from it. But it was hard.
Exactly. Well, when I just saw your video and you were just like going to break down and I'm like, wait, what happened? And I'm just like, I couldn't be there to like give you a hug. And I'm just like, wait.
You're so awesome. I love it. Thank you. So yes, we're glad he's home. Now we just have to keep him from not doing anything.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
Like that's what my nurse said, is that you're in charge of making sure that I don't do anything. That I don't take on too much, you know, because when you feel good, you know how easy it is to just do too much. So
exactly.
yeah. So the bending, lifting, twisting is a six week. We're going to stick hard with that. So, because if you do, everything else afterwards goes so much better, right? You know, so so we're gonna come up with some other projects he can do that don't require a lot of physical aspect that make him proud over the next 6 weeks.
Exactly.
So, but thank you. Yep, we're good.
You're welcome.
So good, you guys. All right, have a great night. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.